Yeah.
Wood River House is my home for health.
Wood River Health is a one-stop shop for primary medical care, dental care, behavioral health, and social services. We care for the members of our community because they are our community. I'm Allison Croak, President and CEO of Wood River Health. Since 1976, our health center has provided high-quality, affordable health care to residents of Rhode Island and southeastern Connecticut. We are your neighborhood health center. Let us be your home for health.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Westerly branch of the Navigant Credit Union. Yes, we are here again, as we are every 3 months. We'll be back in September, and then we'll be here for our big Christmas show where you see how much service means to these people. It means a lot to them year-round, and I'm sure when you listen to the people from the credit union, they'll tell you what they've been up to, and I know they've got a big job this weekend, but service is as important to them as their members. So we are going to begin with Gina Brancato. She is the branch manager of this group.
Hello.
And tell us, how are things going? Let's see, you were a year old in March?
We were 2
years
years
old
in
in
February. We're coming up
Wow.
on 3 years this February.
Wow.
Yeah, February 26th will be 3 years.
I can't believe that. I keep
It's
thinking
flying.
you started in 24.
Nope.
You started in 23.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been doing this every 3 months ever since.
That's great.
Yeah.
And how you doing?
We're doing
Obviously,
well.
you're doing well.
We're doing well. The lights are on.
The lights are on.
It's going good.
Members are coming.
Yeah. Still building our brand awareness for those in the South County area that weren't familiar with Navigant and getting out into the community. Last week, we were volunteers for Wood River Health Wellness Fair at the library.
That's right. You were. You
Yeah.
all had your shirts on.
Yeah, we were there.
Hint,
we
hint.
Yeah, right. Got to get the name out there. But yeah, just continuing to be out in the community. Seasons are changing. The traffic's increasing. It's June. Kids are getting out of school. One of my middle schoolers graduated today from middle school. He's going on to high school next year.
Are you scared?
Not scared. Just
Nervous?
No, he's good. He'll be fine. He's
great.
got a great
I
head on
mean,
his shoulder.
I've met him, and he got through algebra.
Yeah, he did.
Anybody who gets through algebra and
Yeah.
geometry, they're heroes in my book.
Yeah, so it's great. And with the end of the school year and the beginning of summer, we actually just started on Monday our Embark to School campaign, Embark campaign through next Saturday. So it's running 2 weeks, and we kind of have a 90s theme. So you can come into any one of our 26 branches, and you are going to be greeted with candy.
You've
And
got a lot of merch over
we do have a lot of merch. So we've got the Double Bubble, the Pop Rocks, Airheads,
The good thing
Dunkaroos,
DJ Gadget isn't here. She'll
Yeah.
be over there eating it all.
the Capri Suns. We have fanny packs. We have yo-yos, anything. And if you open an Embark account, which we'll speak about, anyone that opens the account is automatically entered to win an Apple Watch. So what teen doesn't want that, right?
Exactly. Please
good stuff.
explain what the Embark is. I've heard it many times. I think it's great.
Yeah, so it's designed for the self-made teams, what we call it. It's to help youth go surpass the Kickstart savings account that we start with from 0 to 13. But it allows them to have an account with a debit card, with online banking. They all have phones or some type of technology. They can
Right.
download the app. They can see the allowance, the little side jobs, the lawn cutting money that they make, deposit it into that account. They can
Sports
go onto
betting.
their app, all of the above, right? Trading cards, all that kind of stuff. But it allows them to have financial awareness of money coming in and money going out. So they learn financial responsibility. It's all too often that we get young adults and adults who aren't savvy or don't know the basics of banking, balancing a checkbook, what that entails. So it just gets them started, but it's cool. They get to have their debit card with their name on it. It's not mom's name who's giving you the card or dad's or whomever. So they get to take ownership over it.
What are the limits on something like that? I mean, they get a debit card.
They get a debit card.
What keeps parents from being nervous?
They only have to open it with $10. So
Okay.
it's easy. There's no monthly maintenance fee, so it's free. They can't overdraw their account. They can't go online and pay bills like adults do online. Because they're not 18, they're not old enough to sign off on those things. They basically can see it, use it securely, and
Make deposits
and let it
into
grow.
it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a great way to get that financial education piece started for them.
Who gives them the education when they start the account?
We do. We definitely do.
And every one of your people here at the branch
Absolutely.
are all schooled in that, right?
They are all schooled
Well,
in
they're all
that.
schooled in everything here.
We're
I mean, that's the way Navigant is.
Yeah.
Everybody does every job.
Yeah, cross train. It just makes it easier. Anyone can come in, and you don't have to make an appointment or wait in line or wait for someone to come back from vacation. They can go to any one of the staff here, and you're going to get the same service.
We didn't give the ages, did we? We said
13.
Kickstart ends at 13.
Kickstart 0 to 12, and then Embark is 13 to 22. Now, naturally, after you're 18, and if you want it, we have other accounts and stuff. We
Sure.
go through that depending on where that person is. But it does go from 18 to 22.
So you're getting in
13 to
high
22.
school and college that way.
Yeah. And it's nice because if you have a parent that banks with Navigant, they can have the account on their app as well. They can transfer if, John's in college and is stuck and needs money for whatever, they can just transfer it into that for them too. So it's convenient.
Great.
It's very convenient. Even if they go to college, not locally, they'll still have access and some type of a control over it.
Terrific.
But the financial piece, we do a lot of financial literacy, and it's throughout Navigant. And we, recently I was in Charahoe School teaching their seniors about Credit 101. So we have those tools, and we
You go to
use
the
them.
schools, right?
I do go to the schools. Yeah, we go to the schools for financial literacy information, senior centers. It's not just young kids, adults need it, seniors need it too, fraud awareness, all that kind of stuff is all kind of packaged in, but
All
we
right,
start
so
young.
That brings up a couple questions. I mean, in my head, if you go to the schools, are the kids afraid to ask questions or because they feel they don't know?
No, not that I found. They ask, they're intrigued. They don't know a lot, which is what we expect. So we cater the conversation, the examples, the scenarios, I have children in my family from 12 to 40. So it's like
There's still 40 children at 40?
Yeah, my
Okay.
stepkids. Yeah. So it's like we get it all. So you cater it all, and they all have different experiences. They all come from different households. They may 16-year-old may know all the things about building their credit, and some may have no idea what a credit score even is. So it doesn't really matter. They ask intriguing questions, but they learn.
And I would imagine at the senior center, and I could be wrong, but I would think that one of the primary worries that they might have is, I don't have a computer at home. I don't know how to do this. How can I do this?
Yeah. We walk them through it. They come into the branch. They don't need to have a computer to do any banking. It depends on their level. We meet them where they're at, or we meet their loved ones where they're at if they're taking care of their finances for them. So, we're not going to teach senior citizens necessarily about Credit 101. That may not be important to them at that point, but not being scammed by all these calls and things you get in the mail, or knowing how to set your accounts up for when the day comes and you pass on, to make sure your funds don't get sent to probate and they're protected. So
do members bring in stuff that they've gotten in the mail and say, is this real?
Yes, and we hope they do. We don't want them to just
I know
trust
you've
it.
got a wonderful department because they've been on the air with us a couple of
Steve
times.
and his team from our security department.
Right.
And they, Howie obviously is a regular for you. He sees all the local scams too.
Yes.
But yeah, we have everyone's versed somewhere, and but we encourage people, if they think they're going to get something that's a scam or a phone call, they're not sure.
And it's constant
ask.
learning for your people because
these
there's
thieves
new
are forever
scams
changing.
every single day.
Yeah, they're smart.
Yeah.
Too smart. I want them to get good, real jobs.
Yeah, contribute.
Contribute to society, please.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, sitting with me right now is Brian Periera, who tells me that his field of expertise, other than being on local television all over the state, is cash management.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Cash? Oh, we're not sure we're happy yet.
Well, hopefully
We're going to find out.
All right.
I want to know, to me, cash management is saying, wow, I just got $1,000 I wasn't expecting to get, so I'm going to give this here and do this here and this. It's all gone now. Is that cash? What's cash management for real?
Well, that sounds like a very boiled down explanation, but you're directionally correct. So thinking along our
Directionally,
mission,
okay.
see what I did there? So thinking of our mission of improving the lives of our families, businesses, and communities that we serve, Gina and her team does an amazing job for that consumer financial literacy piece. My focus is on the business side. So when you're asking what is cash management, it is managing the cash inflows and outflows of any business. Then hopefully there's something left over afterwards to invest.
That's hard.
So if you think, and if you were
Especially now.
to make it even more simple, it's how do I get paid, or how do I get paid faster? How do I pay my
How
expenses?
do I pay my staff?
Yeah, and
How
then
do I pay
managing
my
what's left over.
taxes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All of those little things. It could be from, can I accept a check not by bringing it to a branch, but depositing it before I even leave a job site? Or can I accept credit card? Or can I make a cash deposit at my place of business? All of these challenges are real, and they add to the time that everyone struggles to find, right? Everyone struggles to do more with less resources.
So do they call you when they have a question, or do you, when they become members, do you go in and sit down with them and have a heart-to-heart? Because the problems of business are not the same for every business by any means.
You are 100% correct.
Nor is the cash or the way they do things.
Yeah, so every business is unique, right? Whether it's what they're doing or how they're doing it. And like we mentioned earlier, just like in this branch, Gina and her team is jack of all trades, completely amazing. So if you come in and you have those questions,
she makes them do it. Well, Navigant makes you do it, though. It's good, though.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, the team knows enough to answer the questions, and then as the conversation unfolds and gets deeper, what they'll do is that they'll generally bring in my team, and then we'll either have a phone call or we'll even visit your place of business to do a fuzzy needs analysis.
That's great.
So we'll ask the questions. How do you get paid? Are you cash heavy? Do you take plastic? Are you looking to take plastic? What does that look like for you? And then, well, it'll just unfold from there.
Do businesses use Venmo like people do?
That's a fascinating question. So generally, no. So the Venmos of the world it's generally a consumer-based product. Is it possible for businesses? It is. It's very rare. It's much more likely that businesses will utilize what's called a real-time payments channel, where those payments will settle in real time. But it all depends on the business needs, like we mentioned, because every business is different.
Absolutely.
For some, it is speed is what matters. Other is the ability to provide reporting so they can account for their finances, which is significantly more common. So it doesn't matter what the channel is. It really matters what are the business goals and the business priorities. What problems are they looking to solve for?
Do you also work with businesses? I don't know if you would that way, or if Mike Hogan, who will be coming up next, would work that way. But when you have an old family business, this is fourth generation now or whatever, which you get a lot of in Rhode Island.
Sure do.
And now the older ones have retired, or they've been retired by the guy upstairs, or they've moved to Florida, which is the same thing. And now you've got the hot shots.
Sure.
I'm 32. I know everything. I got a business degree, and my old man was doing it this way. I'm going to do it different. Do you come in then? And because it is different. It's like a brand new business if you've got a brand new set of people running it.
Yes. Yeah. So this is a scenario I've heard thousands of times. And
in Rhode Island, you would too, because there are so many businesses like that, family owned.
Of course. And, just like Gina mentioned earlier, one of the beauties of our platform is that with the digital access, you can access it from anywhere. So maybe you are a snowbird that goes to Florida during the winter months, but you want to keep an eye on your finances. You can still do that. And while maybe the next generation is coming in to manage those business needs, we love having those conversations, because those are sometimes the most deep and rich conversations of, this is how I do it today. I'm looking to do it faster, better, cheaper, and easier. How do I get there? And then that's
Yeah.
when we have those really deep
Or
conversations.
my old man wouldn't listen.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure you get that too.
absolutely.
You
And
know, I
know
want to,
what?
they want to be hot shots, but very often the old way wasn't so bad.
No,
Or there
that's
could be a
correct.
combination.
Yeah, and we're very big on, hey, if this is how you do it and it works for you, then keep doing it.
Yeah, it's
You know?
more
Yeah.
like advisory type, not just we're going to come in and Brian or Jenny, who's been on the show, is going to offer all these things and try to sell something. It's doesn't happen overnight either. It's building that rapport and building that trust and giving them options and letting them decide or decide together. So it's a great team. It's a great resource to have.
Yeah.
So it's not always that,
So if people listening to us now own businesses
Mhm.
or are about to open one or take one over or,
Right.
you know, any combination of things, what's the best bet? Can they come in and talk to you
Absolutely.
even if they're not members?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we welcome
They
that.
should
We
make an
encourage that.
appointment.
No, they don't need to make an appointment. They'll come in and they're going to see Brian's not here every day, naturally.
No, and
they're-
Jenny's not here every
right,
day.
but they're here often, and they're going to come in. They're going to see me or Angie or Allison, Julia, anyone that's here, and we sit with them and we have that initial conversation. And then at that point, if we need to bring someone else in, we reach out right there, and appointments made at that point, just so it works for that prospect, so to speak. We'll go to their business, like Brian mentioned. They don't need an appointment, and it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
So it's always, if you're, set in the financial institution you're at now, and you've been doing things a certain way for so long, but maybe you want to change something or part of something,
That was my next question.
just come in and ask, and it doesn't matter.
If
We'll
they
have
are
the
with a
conversation.
financial
okay.
institution now and they're wondering if there's a better way or a different
All you
way.
have to do is come in and ask. Yeah. Yep.
And that's terrific. Well, you've always been, Navigant has always been about education, educating members and
Yeah.
even potential members.
Yeah, and service. There's no secret that every bank has a checking account. Every credit union has a checking account. They offer their own cash management products, but it's about our service that we provide. That's what we have stayed so strongly on for so many years. So it's that piece that we know, and we're confident that we can, show that to that next person.
Is there a fee for cash management?
So there's different services, and some services do not have fees. Some have fees per transaction, depending on what it is. Others have a
No,
monthly
I mean to
subscription.
use to use your knowledge.
No.
No.
To sit
Oh,
down
like
and
to
talk
sit down?
with you.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Absolutely not. We
Yeah.
we love that.
Consultation.
Right.
that's what I-
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like Gina mentioned, that we have members coming to the branch to gain the valuable knowledge from this team. We have inquiries through our website, and we'll reach out and have a call then. There's no fee involved. We're just having a conversation and giving options.
Yeah.
Are you in charge of South County or a certain amount of branches?
All of them.
Like
He's
Yeah,
in charge of all
Are
of
you-
them. Yeah.
all 24, 6,
Yeah,
20?
so
It's 26 now.
Well,
for the
plus-
cash management services, it's a 26 plus
Yeah.
branches. As we expand, and that accounts for not only the sole proprietor businesses, but the small to medium sized businesses, corporate entities, municipalities. If you need
Wow.
a cash management service, someone on my team is going to be helping you.
And the people who speak with you, if they are sole proprietors, that's okay,
Of course.
as much as a very large company.
Yes, absolutely. So, sole proprietors or smaller business, they don't stay small forever, right? They need options to grow.
Some do.
And that's true.
Yeah.
And some choose to stay there. That's okay. We're here to improve their financial well-being. We're definitely not going to judge. But every member is important, regardless of size, and we love to talk to all of them.
I know I'm going to be asking Mike Hogan this when he sits in the hot seat, but I'm asking you, with all the stuff going on with the tariffs, and it's one day we're doing this, and the next day they pull it back, and now we're doing this. Well, they're going to do that, and businesses, so many of them, builders and car dealers, they don't know what to order, if they should order, where they're at. Are you able to help on this ongoing basis with as much knowledge? And I realize you only have the knowledge of what's going on like the rest of us,
Sure.
but it's coupled with your knowledge of cash management.
Yeah, and I
So
would,
you're ahead of us.
and I would love to say I had some form of insight to the political bearings on tariffs, but
A lot of
I
people
think
would.
we're all in the same boat there.
Yeah.
And I think what's really important to remember that in these challenging and sometimes uncertain times, what you need is a trusted partner who's going to help you navigate those challenges. Where maybe a builder who's looking to buy material, they're buying less, so that way they're not overspending, which means they need to spend faster and get it now. We can have those tools to pay their vendors. Maybe that instead of mailing a check, which if you think about that process of putting in the mailbox and getting it to your supplier, that can, and then of course they have to cash it. You have to track that over the course of a month or so to change. Where if a member enrolls in ACH origination, they can send them a payment and it arrives in their account, and they're only buying what they need, so they don't have to overspend trying to plan.
It's got to be so
Leaving them on the
scary
risk.
for them.
Yeah,
I mean, it's scary
not
for
easy.
us. You go to the supermarket, you've got
Yeah.
a good sized family. They like to eat.
Yeah, they do.
You go to the supermarket and you say, wait a minute, last week that was,
Yep.
and now it's.
Yep.
And it's the same thing in a Home Depot, a Lowe's, a big box store.
Yeah.
It's frightening.
Yeah.
Sure
So
I
it's,
don't know how you stay ahead of it.
it's trying to keep, having your ducks in a row, so to speak, and knowing your cash flow, your ins and your outs, and being able to keep that stability so you're not, going negative or going under or overspending and stuff. But that's what we can help with, budgeting and all that piece goes along with the banking.
Brian, thank you. I'm going to ask you to go give this little mic to Big Mike in there.
Understood.
And I will talk to Gina in the meantime, and we'll probably bring you back later.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been
Okay.
excellent.
Thank you. And if you want to come to Hope Valley,
I know who
doors
to call.
always open. The animals are always in the yard.
Oh, fantastic.
Wildlife.
I can't wait.
And Deb is here too. I don't know if you saw her.
Yeah,
come in.
oh, I did.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
I just thought I'd give her a chance to,
Absolutely.
and we'd let Mike talk. While we're waiting for him to get his microphone on, and this, for those of you who have seen us before, you notice there's no microphones. There are no wires. If you are all wondering where DJ Gadget is today, she has been held up at her business up in Hartford. She is training a new manager, and that is never easy. But we're so lucky to have Andrew Fiore with us. He is a producer. He is a local guy. You go to the University of Rhode Island, or did you graduate?
Just graduated, but as
Oh,
someone who
nice.
just graduated, I'm
Congratulations.
realizing I have a lot to learn about this stuff.
Great. That's
Out
why
of
we're
all the
here.
times to enter the real world with all this uncertainty, it's nice to hear and learn
Yeah.
some more about
Where did
finances.
you graduate from?
URI.
URI.
And where'd
yeah.
you go to high school? Westerly? or-
Westerly, yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
So he knows all your Italian relatives,
you know
I'm
them
sure.
all.
Probably do.
Yeah.
She knows everyone in town. We found
Really?
We have
Gervasini's my maiden name, so I'm sure you
Oh.
graduated with or next to some of my nephews or niece.
Probably Mark in there.
Mark is my
yeah,
nephew. Yep,
Yeah.
he's
Yep.
in there.
Well, Mike and I might just go have a drink down the
Right.
street while you. Okay, but welcome aboard. We are glad to have you with us. You're going
Glad
do
to be
great
here. Thank you.
Just great. Okay, so next up is a familiar face. He's been with us a few times. Last time, I think we missed you. You weren't here last time.
I believe I had a commitment and
Well,
couldn't make it
that's
for an appearance. But
No excuse.
I certainly thank you for having me today.
Just
Rona.
gonna
It's
hold
always
your
a
feet to the
pleasure.
fire today.
All
Mike
right.
Hogan, I'm sure I don't have the right title. I just wrote down financial planning.
Yeah, financial advisor would be what was
Financial.
written on the business card, but I do different things, different variations of financial planning versus financial advising, that sort of thing.
How is what you do different from what Brian does with cash management? You are working more with the one-on-one individuals and he's working with the business. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's a pretty good summation. He would work more with our corporate clientele, whereas I do work with corporate clients. I do manage some area 401k plans and retirement plans, but most of what we do is working with individuals, members of the credit union, helping them prepare for retirement.
Retirement. Are you finding people are not retiring as early as they thought they were going to retire because of our economic climate?
It's been interesting recently. I think a lot of people took early retirement during the COVID time. That was
Right.
not uncommon. Right now, obviously the first quarter of this year was pretty volatile. I think everybody understood that, but we seem to be, relieving ourselves of some of the volatility right now, which is fantastic. But there are some,
I
things
wish
going
more
on in the
people
world.
would understand that.
Mm.
Stop the screaming, the yelling, the protesting, and just do life, do your
Yeah.
job, mind your own business, and help make things good again. And as opposed to whining and crying and stomping.
There's a lot of that.
That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and more than an hour.
Yes.
Way more than
Yes.
an hour. But
Yeah.
it's nice to hear you say that you're seeing a turnaround.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, overall our economy is okay. We've had some pretty good recent economic data to substantiate that. Prior to coming on just now, I was reading the minutes from the Fed meeting from earlier today. Chairman Powell is not raising interest rates. They're in a pause mode currently, but they still expect to lower interest rates at least twice this year, which again, it will be good for the consumer.
Before the end of this calendar year or fiscal?
That's what the meeting minutes read. Yes.
Well, that's 6 months to the end of the year.
It'll be a challenge.
Scary. It's almost July 4th.
I know.
Yeah. So what are people asking you when you sit with them? I realize every member is different. Every situation is different.
Sure.
But is there any kind of commonality that you're getting?
Yeah, I think the biggest concern recently has been the volatility of the first quarter. And I heard you mention the word tariffs earlier.
Yes.
That was what was creating some chaos in the markets. In fact, we had a 10% correction in the S&P 500. And again, it got volatile for a little while there. There were a couple of months where there were some wild swings in both the S&P and the Dow, but that seems to have stabilized.
That's good.
Yeah, a little bit of good news there. The tariff issue will resolve itself. Tariffs and
How so? How do you think it's going to resolve itself? We have the same people in Washington.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be very nice about this.
Yeah.
How is it going to just automatically get better?
Well, it's not automatically. It
Time?
needs to be worked out. Yeah, and over the course of time. So most of the money managers that I've read upon have said something very consistent, and that is, if you look back to the first Trump administration, they imposed tariffs. And
Yes.
it created volatility, but it was a short duration event. The volatility eventually went away as each tariff got worked out. So again, to your point, it's going to be time, but we've already seen, this take place previously. So it will get worked out. And again, where the S&P corrected 10% in the first quarter, we're year to date, we're between 2 and 3% positive now. So
I don't know if you saw the NBC News last night, the national news, but they had a whole feature on Greenland and showing the people and the snow and the ice and the polar bears and saying, our president wants to take this. That's the kind of thing that makes people crazy, right? I mean,
yeah,
because I know for a while there, and I am not a financial wizard by any means, but when I'm driving in the evening, I will listen to a sports show on a Providence station. And when they end, there is a finance show at 7:00. And I try to listen to it to learn something. And they always begin with the markets, the S&Ps and this and the
Sure.
Dow.
Sure.
And for a while there, it was, we went 300 points up today. We went
Yeah.
400 points down. We went, and it was like that. Isn't that the kind of thing that is going to drive that?
Things such as Greenland.
Greenland, Canada,
Well,
tariffs, anything.
So Greenland is a very strategic place for the United States. We have bases there.
Yeah, and there we have energy and
There's a lot of
sources there.
it's a very strategic place for the United States. That being said, full well knowing the administration, they've been known to say outlandish things and then pull back on it just to see how far they could go, and then settle on something well beneath the initial assertion. So again, are we going to take over Greenland? I doubt that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we expanded our bases there. It's a very strategic place.
So what are their, I don't like to use the word fears. What are they uncomfortable about when they speak with you?
Yeah.
Are you finding them more uncomfortable than say a year or two ago? Because of uncertainties?
Yeah, so there's uncertainties not necessarily within our country, but around the planet. There's 2 wars going on right now, whether you realize it or not. I'm sitting here looking out at the road, and people are living their lives as though there's nothing going on in the world. But there's 2 wars going on.
Yes.
So I think the unknowns of the resolution of those wars is what scares people more so than anything. Our economy, it's cyclical, it comes and goes. Right now we seem to be coming into a pretty good stretch based on economic data that I've seen. But the unknowns would be, well, how do you resolve what goes on with Iran? How do you resolve what goes on with Ukraine and Russia? There's been no resolution to those yet.
All right. So to be a devil's advocate then, you began by saying, I'm looking out right now, and it doesn't, don't you think the average person, who's driving down the street right now or having lunch right now or at his or her desk or wherever, do you think they're worrying about those wars, or they're worrying about what's going to be in my check? How do I make it stretch? I mean, they look out and they see what I see and you see. It's beautiful out there.
Yeah.
It's overcast, but it's still quiet and a nice town.
Yeah. You would never know that there were 2 wars going on right now.
Right.
But
so that's my point.
When oil spikes and it affects their portfolio, and they say, well, why is my portfolio down today? Why was there such a wild swing in the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones?
Or why did I pay more at the pump?
Why did I pay more at the pump?
Yeah, I say that a lot.
But you can see the analogy that, driving down the street right now, they're not thinking about the price of oil. But when they open up their statement and it was affected by the price of oil, that's when they come to me for an explanation as to, what do we need to do to mitigate some of this risk?
You got a hard job. You're lucky to have him.
I have a question for you. Do you think now, as opposed to pre-COVID, more people are coming in wanting to set up their future retirement plans and stuff like that? Has there been a shift, or less people that are just keeping their money and spending it because, mentally we've kind of changed the way they may see things, we may see things? Is there been a change one way or the other?
I think
That's
people
a good question.
Yeah, it is a great question. I think people are more thoughtful of planning retirement.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reason why I make that statement is because, during COVID, people were forced out.
Right.
And they weren't brought back.
Yeah.
So that wasn't their decision not to return to work.
Right.
In a lot of cases. So, if you were forced out and not allowed to come back, I think that lesson that was learned is that, well, I need to prepare for myself a little bit better. And it's a smart thing. If you're 5 years out from retirement, each year you get closer to that date, you need to reallocate, you need to reassess what you're doing. You need to take a closer look at your budgeting, what comes into the household, what goes out of the household, and prepare for a fixed income throughout your retirement.
Right.
So,
well, the one thing that I've noticed, and I do a lot of driving, I bought a new car January 20th, and I am a member of the credit union and did my car loan here, and it was handled very, very well.
Outstanding.
But January 20th, today is the 18th of June. So we're talking about February, March, April, May, 5 months. I think that's correct.
Yeah.
I looked because I'm due for an oil change. I looked and said, how many miles I've only put on 11,800 miles.
Oh,
wow.
I drive a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
And because I drive a lot, I have my take on this whole COVID thing.
Okay.
Amazon's doing great.
Yes.
That is all I see there isn't a day that goes by, no matter what community I'm in.
Yeah.
If it's Sunday, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Amazon trucks everywhere. They're pulled over. They're running in driveways. They're on the road.
Yeah.
That became the great American habit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people got in trouble financially, I think, because
it was
that.
easy just to click, add to cart and
Yeah.
check out. But they've made that all convenient, even with grocery deliveries, DoorDash,
Oh,
all
sure
of
they
that
have.
is through the roof because that's what you kind of had to do to be touchless for
Yeah.
so long, contactless. So yeah, it's nuts.
People got lazy though, really lazy. I mean,
Why
do I go out if you'll deliver my
However,
bagel?
I'm definitely pro all the delivery services. And
You work hard.
it frees up a lot of my time though. The last thing I want to do when I go home is like cook dinner, go grocery shopping, cook dinner, do all that. If I can take that piece out of it, it's just frees up my time. So
Spoiled brat.
they make you pay for it though. It's not like
Right.
it's free. So
It comes at a premium.
it does.
Yes.
Mike, thank you. I'm going to ask you to, if you don't mind, to go get Deb and
Of
give her
course.
your little microphone.
Microphone.
I will certainly do
Because
so.
if you walk out of here without it, both Andrew and I will be in big trouble with the boss.
Well, thank you once again for having me today. I
Thank
greatly
you.
appreciate it.
Oh, I always enjoy having you. I find that I learn something. I would hope your members do and the people that listen do.
Yes,
Yeah.
likewise.
So while you're
Thank you so
switching
much.
microphone buttons,
Deb.
again, for Embark.
Embark. We are in our campaign. It's our 90s theme. Come in and get giveaways. Enter to win our Apple Watch. If you're 13 to 22, it's a free checking account, online banking, debit card. We teach them, set them up for that independence piece that they're longing for. The self-made teen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, well, your commercials are absolutely great.
They're great. Did you catch the one
The one-
with the
I love the TV one.
yeah, where
Which-
he's like trying to break up with his institution and like leave his institution and like they're just hysterical.
Yes. And they're so well done.
Yeah.
They are absolutely well done. The one on the radio has been on now for a couple of years now. But yeah, he talks about the self-made teen.
Yep.
And they were smart. They hired a person who sounds young,
Right.
like a self-made teen.
I have my teen here. He's too shy to come up on and talk.
Does
And
he have an Embark account?
He does have an Embark account. As soon
Very
as he
good.
turned 13, the first thing he wanted was his own debit card with his name on it.
Of course.
So he came in.
Now, anybody who's out there right now, you do not have to be a member. I see a little bit of food down there.
There's food, there's fruit, there's veggies, there's snacks, there's cosmic brownies and Dunkaroos and candy. There's
Oh my-
stuff.
You can stop in.
There's
You-
seafood dip.
You do not have to be a member, number one. Number two, nobody will attack you when you come in. It's not one of those places where they're not going to let you out
No,
until you buy something or do
no,
something.
That's not us.
No, you're going to come in, you find out about it. If you are here's a question. If you're a mom or dad or grandparent and you have someone who is graduating or just graduated,
Mhm.
can you open the Embark account for them, give them that, we just put $100 in for you, but
So you can
your
make
name's on the card?
they have to, the child has to be here. The child has to pick their own PIN number and sign for it. They have to be with the parent or the guardian. We don't want some stranger opening an account for youth. It's just too risky.
Yeah, well, that's true.
But any relative, friend, neighbor, whoever wants to give this person a gift can come in and say, I want to deposit into so-and-so's account. They can make a deposit into that.
That's good to know.
So they can give that gift without having the child just take that $50 and not it ending up in the bank. They can force it into the bank, so to speak.
I love
So,
that. Jam it in the bank.
so they can do that.
That's great. Deb Beauchamp.
How are you?
Good. Welcome.
Welcome back.
Oh my
Welcome back
goodness, I feel like
indeed.
this is
She went
like-
on a trip.
I
Where
did.
did you go?
I went to Ireland.
Did you play golf in Ireland?
I was gonna, but my husband was with a friend and my daughter ended up coming with us. So I decided to invite my daughter because I'd be a golf widow if I didn't.
Because I know she is a golfer.
I am a golfer.
And
Well,
I've been
I-
told that they have gorgeous golf courses in
my
Ireland.
husband was very impressed. They played at Old Head and they played at Waterville. But it was funny. Quick story is because we went to the Cliffs of Moher and it's just beautiful Ireland. But it's if you're afraid of heights, you don't want to get too close to these areas.
Yeah.
And on this golf course, they have like a lot boundary line, and my husband's friend's ball went by it, and he went to go get it, and this young caddy's like, "Mr. Murphy, you shouldn't do that." And my husband's like, I couldn't even look at him because if he fell,
Yeah.
bye.
Oh, that's off.
I know.
That's scary.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful. It was wonderful.
That's-
But back to reality.
Well, before we get back to reality,
Yeah.
moreover, I mean, I don't care anything about golf, but I love pubs. Did you get into the pub?
Oh, I did. I had my first
Did
Guinness.
you sing songs?
Your first
and-
warm Guinness?
I sang, I danced, I drank,
Look,
I did it all.
Wait a minute, he's not 22 and he's playing with a yo-yo down
Oh,
there.
that's so
Yes,
funny.
you have yo-yos.
The
too.
movie guy is in the house. Oh my goodness. Anyway, Deb, the last time we saw you, and I won't have your title correct, but I
I'm
know
just- I'm a
mortgage.
I'm a mortgage originator.
The loan originator. Okay.
The loan originator.
The Lone Ranger.
I came
That's
in
what
my
I-
boss.
Well, the last time we saw you, and I probably don't have the date right, but you were going to be having a seminar. I was going to say
Yes.
May 1st here.
May 15th, we did have a seminar. We actually have another one Saturday I'm going to.
How did you get a return on that?
We got a few people. The problem is what we have to really work on is, Cranston North, Navigant is very well known, Cranston North, and we need to build South County. So we need to find a way to get the people in Westerly, Charlestown, Pawcatuck, those people to come to the seminar. We had a person from Woonsocket. Now that's a long
They came
ride.
from Woonsocket here.
100%.
And you keep-
Providence.
And for people that are listening
And we
around the
fed them.
country or the world, you're talking opposite ends of this little state. You're
Yes.
talking about 38 miles each way.
Oh, more
More than that, 50 miles each
Yeah.
way. I was in Woonsocket on Saturday. It took me just under an hour to get there.
Yeah, no, I believe my husband
And
grew
I
up in
speed.
Woonsocket. My brother-in-law is the mayor of Woonsocket. But anyway,
Met him.
Chris.
Yes.
that's my brother-in-law.
He spoke.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we ended up. It was a very nice event. A couple of the bankers were here. They got to learn some stuff. So I've done a couple. I've done one in my Wakefield branch, one here. I'm doing one up in my corporate office on Saturday with my other colleagues. And it's good. It's just trying to draw the people from this area. That's what we need to do. And we do a great job.
Well, you
Navigant-
bribed them with food. Didn't you have
Mhm.
pizza that night?
I'm telling you,
We had great food.
we got to crack out the wine. I think wine and beer.
Although I will say, one of the first-time home buyers that she met with the day of the radio show,
Yes.
she just closed on her first home
Yes.
a couple weeks ago. So
Wonderful.
yes,
So we have a success story.
That's good. That's terrific.
Yeah, but yeah, you know what? It's going to come. It's going to come with time. It's
There's
just
nothing better
actually-
than word of mouth.
Well,
100%.
And
at the wellness fair, so all of local nonprofits were there, and Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center was there. I've gone in there before to talk about how to title your accounts when you're elderly, and they have young families and things that go there, that frequent there. So I was talking to their executive director, and they're interested in us doing a first-time homebuyer seminar there.
Good.
They'll
perfect.
get signups and stuff like that. So it's a work in progress, and they're in Pawcatuck naturally, but it's Pawcatuck Westerly local. So hopefully that one is something that will pan out
Yeah.
locally.
Yeah,
And-
because
and
I don't want to make people drive from Woonsocket and
Yeah.
Providence when we can do it in Smithfield or
Right,
sure. Whatever. But anyway, all in all, it went well, and these guys did a great job setting it up, and it was I think they learned a lot, and it was
do you I know Navigant is, when they advertise statewide.
Mhm.
But do they ever advertise in pockets of the state for
They do.
different things?
They
we
do.
have to just get better at it down this way. When it's
That's what I'm thinking. What can be done
100%.
here in
because
South
even the one in
County?
Wakefield I did, we had a lot of people like from Central Falls, Woonsocket,
Yeah.
once
And they
again.
came all the way to Wakefield.
So it almost has to be like more of like plan it more in advance, like a direct mail or something like that, that you're hitting the local mailboxes or the local newspaper. I mean, if you go on social media, you can't really control who it hits, so to speak. I mean, you can, but it depends on how marketing handles it. But yeah, it's really just
The thing is, though, that what happens with these seminars is, like Saturday, it's going to be the first beautiful Saturday in 12 weeks.
Yes.
So
exactly.
they could say we have 50 people signed up, and then 10 people will show up.
Sure.
So that's the other issue, because there's no, guarantee they're going to be there. But you have to do them. Then you help the people that come. But like we had done one at this is such a great story. We had done one at the corporate office, and I got this particular couple. It was a mom and her son, and the son translated because the mother didn't speak English. And this kid came 8:30 in the morning, high school sophomore. And I looked at him, I go, what a nice young man you are. Come here, translate for your mother, sit and listen to us for 3 hours,
Right.
on a Saturday morning. But yeah, just a nice kid. So and the mother's like, I'm going to buy a house. She's saving. She's a single mom, and he's going to help her. And I thought, that was a nice.
So my question to you is the same one that I had to Brian and to Mike.
Yeah.
What are people asking you, or what are they most concerned about now? Can they afford it? The interest rates, combination of all these things, not enough listings. What are they asking?
I mean, I heard what you were asking, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I feel bad for people right now because the payments are very high.
Yeah.
And like I talked to someone today that I'm meeting Friday, and I said, "Oh, your payment's going to be about, $3,200 a month." She's like, "Oh, that's good." I'm like, "Oh my God!" But it's just everything.
They said that's good.
Well, everything is so relative, unfortunately, and I feel like now it's like I have to buy a house. The payments are going to be higher, the interest rates are higher, so we're all praying that the interest rates do come down. Because I think it's very difficult for everybody, all of us. Go in the grocery
Mike
store.
said they're holding steady right now, right?
They're holding steady.
They're
and the
expecting
Fed-
it to come down twice before the end of the year.
Yeah, well, the Fed lowering prime doesn't automatically change my rate. It's a trickle effect with us. We're based on the 10-year yield. We're based on the stock market. Unfortunately, when rates come down, that means something is not great. Like, consumer confidence is down, or the 10-year bond has dropped, that's what we're looking for. But all in all, if prime comes down, it's going to help other things too, just to lower people's expenses. It's just very expensive right now to live. I mean, even us go in the grocery store. It's like you spend $70 and you're like, what did I get for $70?
Right.
But I've heard you say time and time again too, even though rates are, they're high, but they're not astronomical.
Oh no,
rates.
my first mortgage
people
rate was
think,
8.625.
Yeah, people think they're high, but in reality, it's really not that high. They're just not used to it. But if you can afford the payment, they're going to come down eventually. You can always refinance, and that's what you try to help them understand.
But until they
affordable.
refinance, it's still $3,200 a month.
But if that's
come
something
up
they can
with or
afford,
whatever.
But what I'm
different.
telling
Yeah.
my customers is this: that as soon as you see those rates go down, and even if you refinance twice in 1 year, do it. If they come into the fives, absolutely lower it. You're going to save $200 to $300 a month.
Wow, that's a lot.
And then
of
if it
money.
goes down again, do it, because I don't know if we're going to ever see 2.7 or 3.5% again.
Yeah.
But as soon as you see it drop, automatically refinance. It makes sense. Even if the cost to refinance is $2,000, you're going to make that up in no time.
Is there a limit? How many times in a year?
I had a buddy that did it 10 times 1 year. I used to work with them. Yeah.
Really?
Because some people were playing the little market. You know what I mean? They weren't making a mortgage payment. They kept refinancing and rolling in their cost. I don't suggest doing that.
Wow.
Oh, geez. Got a little light bulb went on.
Uh-huh.
But how much is your closing cost?
They
it's got
roll
to
it
be.
in. They roll it in.
Oh.
It's like you're rolling the
Suddenly
dice.
you
she
really
is going to
don't-
make dinner tonight and have
No,
a
you
chat
do.
with her
I think
husband.
I'm going to go home with some wine.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no, there is no limit. Yes, there is a cost. It has to make sense, But sometimes people will pay a point right now to lower their interest rate. The thing is, people don't understand that 1 point is 1% of your loan amount. It's probably going to drop the rate maybe 0.25%, and it's going to take you 5 years to make up that money. So
keep
if
your
you know
cash.
the rates
So
are
they
going to
need
come
you.
down,
People, once again, it comes down to education.
100%.
Yes, have the conversation.
Tell us, because we're going to have to take a break in about 5 minutes. Tell us, you said you have an upcoming seminar here?
Smithfield, but it's already
closed.
closed, unfortunately. But I think they're doing another one in July and August. I know they're doing one September 13th, but we can find out the dates. But
Well, if you need help here, when are they doing something here?
Well, I'm
They're
looking
not.
into
It's only
doing,
me doing
yeah,
it with
doing
her.
it in like Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center, doing it outside and still advertising it and getting people to sign up for it through those organizations.
Okay,
And
good.
she would
I'd be the
host it.
speaker.
Yeah, she would speak.
That's great. And I assume that, like Brian was saying, when you're talking to people, you're meeting them where they're at. So you're talking to them on their level. And
Mhm.
this family might have one set of issues, but that family has a different one.
100%. That's why the other night, is even though there wasn't a lot of people, it was a very good intimate setting. So they asked me questions throughout. We talked. All of them told me their scenario. But no, every customer is
So
different.
you're not making a speech.
I am.
You
I'm
are.
talking for about an hour. It's very long. It's
Can
very.
tell-
It's invigorating to listen to me speak for an hour.
No, it's
Only
not.
kidding.
It's actually very good and
I know, that's
informative.
why I was saying, and the high school sophomore sat there
Oh,
on
we
for
wouldn't
3
do-
hours.
Well, I wouldn't do that to them.
Yeah.
If I went in with Gina, I would talk to them about, credit. That would be my main thing with them because they're not ready to buy a house. Hers would obviously be learn how to have a checking account because these kids should be learning these things in school anyway. They don't know how to manage money, and some of them
They
don't
don't
have.
teach that unless it's changed. But they didn't
No, I
teach
mean,
it in
if they
school
have
when
their
I went to
finance
school.
class where they're learning budgeting or credit or balancing checkbooks, buying a car, it depends on the school that they go to.
Yeah, it depends on the child because
Yeah.
some of these kids don't have the parent who has shown them or they've seen them
Yeah.
work hard and save money. So they have to learn on their own. So it's good for someone like Gina to come in and go, you know what, little Joey, I'm going to help you, give you these little tools that maybe,
Something
can-
will stick.
yes, break the chain
Yeah.
of maybe the situation he's in.
I've told this story before, but it's been a while. It goes back probably 30 years or more. Scary. But I was at a Westerly Rotary meeting, and the speaker was whoever the coach was from Providence College at that point.
Oh,
There have
Cooley? Was it
been many.
Cooley?
Oh God, no! 30 years ago,
30
Cooley
years
was
ago. What am I saying?
no. It was
Rick
way back.
Pitino.
No, it was him. I would remember. No, this was way back. And anyway, when he came in, and the team was doing about as good as they did this year, and he said, one of the things I do with my guys, yes, we practice hard. We practice every day, but I always have an accountant come in, and I have I can't remember. He had like 3 or 4. I think he had a real estate person come in to teach them. He said, almost no one on that team knows how to write a check.
I'm not shocked by that.
So
No.
he said, we teach them how to write a check. We teach them how to manage money. We teach them how to not have their heads turned. We tell them every day, you all think you're going to the NBA? No, you're not.
Right.
You're lucky if maybe one of you in 20 years from here goes. And, and they try to educate.
That's what a coach should be doing. Trust
Yes.
me. I mean,
And that's what
especially-
they should do in the high schools too.
Well, especially in that level of play, because they're Division I players. These guys, probably didn't come from, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And, they get a little bit of money and they don't know how to spend it. It's like these guys that come in, they get to the NBA and they don't know how to manage it. And the other piece is know what you do, know who's managing your money and make sure they're managing it correctly. Right.
We're going to have to take a break right
This is
now.
fun.
Otherwise, producer Andrew Fiore will yell at me and we'll all get fired. When we come back, we're going to finish up with Deb and we're going to have the movie guy, also known as the man who killed Bambi. This is Man About Town. We are on 321 Media. We are broadcasting not from downtown Westerly, but from the Navigant Credit Union, from the Westerly branch, and we will be back shortly.
Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401 212-4140.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
D&V Mechanical specializes in the installation, maintenance, and servicing of Mitsubishi ductless mini-split heat pump systems. We are certified by Mitsubishi as Diamond Elite Contractors and factory trained and up to date on the proper procedure of the installation and service of Mitsubishi ductless heating and air conditioning ductless heat pumps. We assist with the paperwork to reduce much of the stress-related documentation required to get the state rebates and federal tax incentives. We are not a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-nothing company. We are masters of ductless heat pumps. It's what we do, and it's what we know.
Unicorn fans, want to watch the Unicorns like a VIP? Book a
Moving doesn't have
Unicorn fans, want to watch the Unicorns like a VIP? Book a Dodd Stadium luxury suite, perfect for business outings, birthdays, or a night out with friends. Enjoy indoor and outdoor seating, a flat screen TV, your own private server, and the option to pre-order from our catering menu, all while catching every pitch in comfort. Order your luxury suite today for just $500 for up to 20 guests, or go big with a double suite for $900 and bring 40. Don't miss out. Call now, 860-887-7962 and reserve your suite today.
Moving doesn't have to be stressful. Whether it's across town or just across the hall, no job is too big or too small for Easy Does It Moving and More. Sean and his team put people first, making your move safe, smooth, and stress-free from start to finish. For a move made simple, go with the name that says it all. Easy Does It Moving and More. Call us today at 401-545-6078 or go to easydoesitmoving.com.
Are you looking for a fresh cut in Westerly? Step into Rio's Barber Shop in Granite Plaza. Whether it's a classic trim or a trendy new look, we've got you covered. Experience the perfect cut for every age and style in a friendly and relaxed atmosphere. At Rio's, it's not just a haircut, it's an experience. Visit Rio's Barber Shop in the Granite Plaza in Westerly or give us a call to schedule your appointment at 401-315-2208. Your style, our craft, Rio's Barber Shop.
Hey Unicorn fans, ready to rep your Norwich Unicorns? Dive into the point-of-sale team store. From hats and jerseys to gear that covers every base, show your Unicorn spirit and style. From ballpark essentials to unique souvenirs, there's something for every fan in the pod. Stop by during any home game or shop anytime at cunicorns.milbstore.com. That's cunicorns.milbstore.com. The point-of-sale team store has you covered all season long.
D&V Mechanical specializes in the installation, maintenance, and servicing of Mitsubishi ductless mini-split heat pump systems. We are certified by Mitsubishi as Diamond Elite Contractors and factory trained and up to date on the proper procedure of the installation and service of Mitsubishi ductless heating and air conditioning ductless heat pumps. We assist with the paperwork to reduce much of the stress-related documentation required to get the state rebates and federal tax incentives. We are not a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-nothing company. We are masters of ductless heat pumps. It's what we do, and it's what we know.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
Hi, I'm Chris Kozłowski, owner of Broadview Florist and Garden Center in Dunn's Corners. For over 40 years, our family-owned business has been your go-to destination for beautiful, custom-made floral arrangements. Whether it's a special event or just to brighten up your day, we create highest quality designs tailored just for you. Trust Broadview Florists to make every moment unforgettable. Visit us today or give us a call at 401-322-0390.
Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
D&V Mechanical specializes in the installation, maintenance, and servicing of Mitsubishi ductless mini split heat pump systems. We are certified by Mitsubishi as Diamond Elite contractors and factory trained and up to date on the proper procedure of the installation and service of Mitsubishi ductless heating and air conditioning ductless heat pumps. We assist with the paperwork to reduce much of the stress-related documentation required to get the state rebates and federal tax incentives. We are not a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-nothing company. We are masters of ductless heat pumps. It's what we do, and it's what we know.
We're back, everybody. And before we get to our movie guy, Bill Dougherty, who had his own movie last night, had his own incident, I wanted to finish up with Deb Beauchamp because I enjoyed listening about the golf courses.
Oh,
and
that's so sweet.
she just got back from Ireland.
Oh,
and you're sitting with an Irishman
yes.
over there.
My dad filled his bucket list before he passed away. He went to a wedding over in Ireland.
We were at a wedding. Oh God.
Oh,
It's
is
a
that where you
marathon, not a sprint.
That's what he said. He said, oh yes, it was.
My husband and I were in bed at 12. It started at 2. My daughter got home at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
They know
brides-
how to party.
I can't even tell you. They had food at 3 in the morning.
My gosh.
I don't know about you, but I'll probably be sleeping at that point.
If I would have known, I wouldn't have probably had as many margaritas as I did.
Yeah.
Margaritas in Ireland?
Oh my God, they were so damn good. We went to this restaurant.
I guess we're not going to hear about mortgages.
No,
folks.
you can.
That's okay.
Let's talk mortgages.
Yeah.
Margaritas and mortgages.
Truly, this is Bill's hour or less. So give us a little more information on mortgages, how people get in touch with you, if they should come in here, come through Gina and Angie, what should they do?
They
if
can
have
absolutely come to the
questions?
branch. because when people come into the branch, then they ask about mortgages, they call me. And they use my cell phone. That's all I use. 401-258-6048. There's a plug. But
and you'll go anywhere to meet them?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes. We're one of the top mortgage companies in the state. We're in the top 2 to 3. We have a phenomenal back room. We do not sell our servicing. So the loan is always going to stay with Navigant. So you can make your payment here. If you have an issue, you call us. We help you out. If you have an issue with taxes or insurance, we can help because the mortgage is with Navigant.
What did you mean when you said we have a fabulous back room?
Meaning our processing and our underwriting and closing department is fabulous.
Okay.
We don't miss a commitment date. We don't miss a close date.
And what you just said is so important about we don't sell mortgages, because I've been down that road a lot of times.
We sell.
And I couldn't tell you the name.
Yeah, they sell loans in bulk, but we don't sell the servicing. We retain the servicing. But
So
banks sell bulk
you can
loans
help
to
the
make
people.
money, but the servicing will always stay with us.
That's great.
Yeah, it's huge.
Deb, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
It was
We
great.
will see you in 3 months, I'm sure.
Yes.
And I want to hear about the restaurant and the margarita. No,
Yeah.
it's like margaritas and mortgages. I got to remember that.
Thank you.
Very good. And now we have the guy I wasn't sure at 9 or 9:30 last night I was going to see you today.
Well, we could talk about mortgages, margaritas, and movies.
There you go.
There you go. There's a good one.
Let's talk about movies, because this is Bill.
Sorry?
Oh, he wants.
that seat in the frame.
Oh,
Okay.
sure. Okay.
Yes, this is Bill Dougherty, and he is the guy we have on once a month, the movie guy. He owns the Mystic Luxury Cinemas, the South County Cinemas, the Madison Cinema in Madison, Connecticut, and the Westbrook Cinemas that you see from the highway at exit 65, north or south.
I was down in Westbrook yesterday, and we had our bargain day yesterday, which all seats are $5. So that's quite a bargain. And we had.
So your bargain day is different than, because in Mystic it's today, isn't it?
Yes, we do it on Tuesday down in Westbrook, and that one there we call our Way Back Tuesdays. All seats are $5, and
Whether it's adult or children.
everybody goes for $5 on that day, and we get some really nice crowds, and then especially yesterday with the weather being off.
And you love when the weather's off.
I do. Again today,
all the beach people hate you, but
yes, that's for sure. And how many weekends in a row have we had with some
9,
rain?
I believe.
So if we get some nice ones coming up, I'm good with that, and we'll get the other businesses going along the beaches. It's all good.
Yeah. And as you have many times told us, it always works out at the end of the year.
It does.
For all those awful days that you have when it's beautiful weather and vice versa, it works out.
I've spoken to many people in business about this subject, and in our industry, we're open 365 days. Unless the state closes, we are open every day. So if I'm not willing to go through, say, 120 to 150 really bad days, then I'm really not going to be there for the good
And
days.
how many businesses are willing to make that comment?
But
Think about that.
But that's in my opinion, that's the truth about any business. We will all experience tremendous highs, whether it's the restaurant industry or any other industry. You will experience tremendous highs, but you will also experience tremendous lows. And if you're not willing to go through those lows, then I could only wish you luck at that point. Because,
you know business then. A lot of people don't. They panic.
Well, also in our industry is, unfortunately, we don't own our product to get you into the theater. The films are distributed by the film companies, and we don't have a say on that. So, I always say, we own the milk duds I'm going to rip you off for.
and he's so honest and open about it.
I know, because I know that's what you were thinking, but I don't own the product to get you to buy the milk duds.
I was actually with him about 1.5 years ago, I think it was, when you spoke to the Charahoe Rotary Club.
Yes.
And when he asked for questions, the very first Rotarian raised his hand and said, "How come milk duds are $5?" And he said, "You're wrong. They're $7," or something like that.
I told him, I said, they should be $6. I do remember that nice exchange with him.
Yeah.
But then I also explained to the audience there the economics of a movie theater and how it works and the way it works. And to most people's surprise, we absolutely make zero on a movie ticket. make zero. By the time we pay out our film rental and our expenses, there's really nothing left on a movie ticket at all.
I actually want to begin with the tail end of what I heard you and Andrew talking about, because I think that was very interesting. Andrew said, "Do you remember me?" Or
yeah.
Give him one of the little mics to talk to.
Yeah, certainly. So Bill was gracious enough to give me the opportunity to come and shoot my own movie for my senior project. It was a 50-minute movie, and all my classmates came.
This was high school?
Yep, 2021, just coming out of COVID.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we did that with Chris DiPaolo, right?
Yes,
our good friend.
Chris DiPaolo.
I remember him calling me that, and I like to stop and say how much I truly miss working with Chris. But
Absolutely.
I remember he called me, and he had this project that was very dear to him to work with you. And as I said, back then you didn't have the beard and mustache, but it is great to see you, and it only reinforces you.
What was the movie about? I want to know but
it was essentially a cluster of inside jokes for my class, but with a plot. That's the best I can explain.
You wrote it and shot it, and
there were about 13 of us in it or something like that.
Wow.
It was, yep.
No wonder you got everybody to come.
Yeah, and even
did they all buy Milk Duds?
Yeah,
did you rip them off good?
The concession stand was open.
They all came in suits, and this is before people were doing that. I don't know if you've seen, but there's been a trend the last few years of kids going all in suits to see certain movies. They did that before.
No.
They were like, let's make this bigger than prom.
Yeah, I remember that.
Really? Yes.
I do remember everybody was all dressed really nice that night. It was
Wow.
a great night. But bringing it up again today just reinforced to me the importance, and I know I'm very biased to it, but the importance of our movie theaters.
Yeah.
To be able to bring communities together, because I can tell by the smile on your face right now how proud you are today of something that you did many years ago and that you shared with me about many of your friends still talk about that.
Yeah. Even it was weird because I mean, you all know how high school is with the cliques and everything, but that was the only time I saw everyone, like it was like the whole class, as many as we could fit with the COVID regulations at the time. It was like everyone was sharing that together, and like.
So I have a good question for you. How do you think that would have worked if you streamed it at your house or in your gymnasium?
Not the same
it would
whatsoever.
Not have worked.
No.
Exactly. And that's the point I always try to
Yeah.
show. That's right.
And people to this day are like, that was better than prom.
That was
they
better
really, really, yeah. And that was, they were like, you gave. I had someone tell me literally at a basketball. I see the kids from my class at URI. A lot of them went from Western to URI like me, and they'll say like, that was the senior event that we missed with COVID. They're like, you gave us that, So that's more unique to our class, going to the movies.
And think of it as you go on in your life, someday you'll hopefully have the joy of having children, and you'll be able to tell your children someday when you're walking in the Mystic Village about that big experience.
Yeah.
And there's more to movie theaters than just watching the actual film.
Absolutely.
It is so
I don't
important.
know if you know this, and I know you're a sports guy because he does a sports show, that when there has been, let's see, when UConn has been in the finals, when there's been
the World Cup, we had the World Cup. We showed on.
He
the big
does
screen.
it for free.
I didn't
and
know
he lets
that.
anybody
it's a lot of
come
fun.
in from the Super Bowl, right?
Super Bowl,
when the Patriots were in it.
And those are free. By licensing agreement, we're not able to charge for those, which is fine. We like, again, bring the community together. And I think it was the last Super Bowl. I was down there for a little while with the audience, and how much they appreciated to be able to watch that on that screen in that type of environment, because that's a lot different than sitting at a local bar where there's a lot of different interactions going on. And here you're able to really see the game in
and you
its
can
full
still
glory.
get a beer if you want one. Right?
And
You sell
I
beer
can still
and
rip you off
wine.
with the milk duds, right?
Right.
Wow. I remember looking for spots around Mystic to watch the Celtics finals. If I knew there was stuff like that, I don't know if you guys did that, but I got to keep that in mind next time there's a big game I want to see.
It's pretty neat on the big screen.
Yeah.
Obviously. As I like to remind people that when they talk about streaming at their houses, and I say to you, Rona, what's the difference between streaming and watching TV? We both agree there's no difference. It's the same thing. And then you ask, well, how big is your streaming apparatus TV, and they're measured in inches. I get to measure my screen in feet.
Right. A couple of weeks ago, and I know I sent you a text. I'm pretty sure I did. I happened to be home in the evening and saw in the newspaper that your favorite movie was on. My cousin Vinny.
My cousin Vinny, yes.
And I had not seen that movie in years and years, and I thought, I'm gonna watch this. And I watched it. I have a TV that's that big. I don't have a giant, huge.
Still very funny, wasn't it?
It was very funny, but it not like seeing it in the theater.
No.
You know, I'm sitting there with the cat on my lap, and I'm saying, "Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's funny."
So
people are wondering. I mean, I'd forgotten so much of it, so sure, I laughed at the jokes, but just not the same as when the people are that big and the sound is your kind of sound in the movie theater.
Because I do see that on TV, and I do check in once in a while and watch some scenes in that movie. And it brings me back to a great time. I was down at the theater convention down in Atlantic City, and they did a pre-screening for us even before the movie was finished. So it was at our Show East convention. So we saw that in October. It wasn't released till that following April. So we got to see that. So I already knew that film was going to be huge.
And it was.
It was. But you brought up a good point. See how different it doesn't work the same because you're sitting in your house.
Yeah.
You're laughing, but it's just a quick chuckle, but to yourself.
And that's it.
You know,
it's not like having people around you.
No.
You are causing a lot of trouble.
No, I
today.
know that. And I hate that.
So tell us what's upcoming so Andrew can get down there and I can get down there.
Well, we got our big summer lineup here.
Okay.
Looks like we got some of the.
Is Lilo and Stitch still bringing them in?
Lilo and Stitch is doing extremely well. This week here we opened 28 Years Later, which is that sci-fi horror film that's coming out here. It's gotten actually some very good reviews, and that'll open this week here.
28 years later?
Yeah.
You know about that?
I saw a trailer for it the other day.
Yeah, just a suspense
you know more
thriller
than I
type.
did.
Pixar, we got another Pixar coming out. Elio, that's here on June 19th, so this week here. Yeah, Elio's coming out. That's the new Pixar. Brad Pitt, F1, the Formula One racing movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's on.
Isn't Brad Pitt getting a little old for this?
Yep, but he's still out
Formula One racing. Okay.
there. Yeah, and that's called F1. That's on June 26th. And just to round out the next month or so, Jurassic Park, which my partner and Raj saw this morning. They saw the advanced screening for the film buyers, and they really.
They're bringing it back to show again, or is it a new one?
It's a new one. This is the 7th installment of the Jurassic World, not Jurassic Park.
Well, you
World.
said Park.
I know I did. So that's on July 2nd. So that's
Okay.
coming out. And the big one of the summer, and this one's getting great reviews, is the new Superman. So we'll have that.
Who is Superman in this one?
I think
Do we
Andrew
know?
would probably know that one better.
I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, I probably should know that, but no. Then every summer they come out with the good horror show. This one's called I Know What You Did Last Summer. You know, we got to have one of the horror shows that come out every summer.
That's an old movie. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, it's a remake.
Of course it is.
And then of course our Marvel fans here. We got the Fantastic Four.
Beatles?
No. That's the. I'm drawing a blank here.
Jump in anywhere if you know.
Superheroes. That's the word I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
The superheroes, and then you know what they have coming out this summer? Another Naked Gun. Think of the last time they did that.
God, really?
Yeah, this one was Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Leslie Nielsen still alive?
No. This is with.
So he's not in it.
No.
Okay.
But should be a lot of fun this summer. We got a lot of good films coming. I know you had asked me about the classical films.
Yes.
So let's run over those very quickly. Your favorite of all time, the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh yeah.
Just remember that's every first of the month, and so anybody
first Friday of every month.
Friday of every month, and that's always.
God, I don't want to miss that.
It's always a lot of fun. You don't want to miss that one, right?
No.
Okay, so let's talk about some of these the classics. You have Brokeback Mountain, 20 years ago.
I never saw that.
You know, it's a great
I
film.
would like
It
to
really
see
is.
that.
Well, come on down June 22nd
June 22nd?
or June 25th. That's the 20th anniversary. Maybe you remember Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap, 41st anniversary, July 7th at 7 o'clock.
It's not the fact that they're bringing them back. It's when you're saying how many years.
Yeah.
If you asked me, this is Spinal Tap, I would have said, yeah, maybe 18 or 20 years ago. You're saying 41 years.
Yes, it starts hitting me because obviously I remember a lot of these titles. And I'm
Wow.
like, wow, I've been doing this for a long time. Great movie. This is more in my father's time, but One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You don't want to miss that.
Great movie.
What a great.
And when is that coming?
That's on July 16th. And again, what a great film to see on the big screen, because you know you can watch that the night before on your TV. It's not going to work. You come down to the theater, see something like that on the big screen.
What I remember about that movie, I mean, other than, and I remember a lot of it, but the character actors in there, all of them were absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
And then, of course, there was Jack Nicholson. My God, he was great.
Yeah.
He got the Oscar, I believe.
Yes, he did. Yeah,
and I know Louise, I can't think of her last name, who played the nurse. She
Yeah.
got the Oscar as well.
So come on down. And again, that was on July 16th. One show, 7 o'clock, the 15th
One
anniversary.
show?
One show, yes.
Wow.
Same thing, one show. This one's going to take you back 75 years.
Not going to take me back. So.
Sunset Boulevard, 75th anniversary. Wow. Huh?
It's on Broadway right now. They've brought that back as well. So is that Gloria de Havilland or somebody?
Yes,
yeah. I don't know if I ever saw that on TV or not.
And
but
here is probably one of the greatest examples of a must-see on the big screen. September 13, 14, and 17, we're going to bring back The Sound of Music.
That you're going to get a ton of people for. You will.
And again, you could see that on your TV in your home, and we'll call it, excuse me, you could stream it, or you can see it on the big screen.
Now, do you pick films celebrating anniversaries for these classics?
A lot of these are done through Fathom events.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, so that they market these on a national basis. They go across the country with them. It's becoming more and more popular, and it's great to see the audiences come down. Not all of them work, but I would say the majority of them really do. Because again, you're with your friends. You're coming down to be part of an event.
Yeah.
Especially now with the way it's done with reserved seating. So for you to know that you have 2 reserved seats down to this anniversary screening in a month, that's something really to look forward to. And so in a lot of ways, I keep saying that the industry has changed so much, but there's been things like this that have changed for the better.
I think the event part of it is huge. I remember when the Marvel movies were at their peak. I mean, my whole class had a Washington, D.C. trip the weekend Avengers Endgame, the last one of the first big run of Marvel movies, came out. And so everyone went to the Thursday night showings, and it was like an experience I would never, ever forget. Like, it was like a sports game. Everybody was cheering, going nuts. Unforgettable. And you can't get that watching it at home, like you said. And we have a question here from a commenter. Just out of curiosity, have any of Bill's cinemas ever participated in a film festival?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we do that right now. We're part of the Mystic Film Festival. You can go on that website, Mystic Film Festival. I believe it's .org. That was organized by a woman. Her name is Shireen Anderson, and she has done an absolute fantastic
You've been
job.
doing that about 8 or 9 years.
It's been
now,
going on,
haven't
and
you?
she has really built that up. So that's what I'd recommend. You go on Mystic Film Festival. It's either .com or .org. I probably should know that, but that is a real special film festival. Also, we have expanded some of these other programs, like the family film series that we do for $2 every Wednesday and Friday during the summer for the kids. Also, we do a retro series down South Kingstown because we have extra screens down there. So we do last spring, and we'll bring it back this fall, where we bring back just an old classic of film.
Back up a little bit, because you went over it fast, and I think people would want to know about it. When is the $2 film festival, or is that every Wednesday?
That's every Wednesday and Friday in South Kingstown and Mystic, and it's every Monday and Wednesday down at our theaters in Madison and Westbrook.
And they're all family movies,
yeah,
right? In the morning.
Right, they're the films of last year. But I would just recommend anybody that wants to come to these films you should go online, get your tickets, or I can even save you the service fee. You can come down and see us at the box office, but you really should get your tickets because those do sell out. And funny, I use the same theory as the Costco hot dog. You know how they've kept the Costco hot dog $1.50? I said the same thing to my partner when we were working on this series to get it going for this year. I said, it's our Costco hot dog fest. I said, the price is always going to stay $2. I like that. A family can come down. The father's got 3 other little kids and his wife. For $10, they come into the theater.
But when they come in, do you say to them, "How about some nice milk duds?"
Well, there's no discount on the milk duds, but I think we all understand that. But certainly love having the young kids come down and experience the theater. For many of them, it's their first movie. I just had some this morning. I was in Mystic, and there they were, some young small kids I was able to say hello to. It was their first time.
Andrew, do you remember what your first movie was?
Ooh, yeah, no, I don't know.
Do you remember where it was? Probably over the Regal over.
Probably Regal
on Route 2, probably.
Yeah, it was probably Regal. Used to go there a lot, and then we kind of made the switch over here once that closed.
Mine is the Swiss Family Robinson at the Milford Post Theater, and the other one would be Charlotte's Web up at the Cine Web up in Wethersfield.
I do not remember my first movie. I really don't.
But you do remember going to the movies as a child, don't you?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I do. Because I remember the popcorn machine where you had to put the money in and then stick the bag underneath, and if you didn't do it just right, the popcorn would go all over and you'd cry, and it didn't go in the bag. But they didn't have the delicious popcorn you
Not
have
like ours.
here. Which, speaking of which, where's my camera? Over here.
There you go.
He just brought a little popcorn with him.
Popcorn for everybody to enjoy. But Andrew, I'm gonna prove one of my points to you. You mentioned the Marvel. Are you a superhero fan yourself?
I used to be more, and over the last 2 or 3 years, I kind of lost track of I wasn't going as regular.
What franchise would you say is the one that you?
Marvel.
Okay, so you're a big Marvel guy, we'll say.
Pretty
Okay,
much.
so the next time the next Marvel is coming out on a Thursday night, I'm going to invite you and Rona over to my house on Wednesday night, the night before. Okay.
I know where you're going.
I prove my point every time on this one. Okay.
You do.
So Andrew, I'm going to invite you and Rona, and we're gonna.
What are we eating?
We're eating steak and lobster tails.
Mm.
Okay, and then we're gonna go in to my living room, and I'm going to show you the biggest monitor you've ever seen in your life. Although I don't have one that big. But anyways, we're going to pretend that I have this big screen television at my house, and the 3 of us are going to have our steak and lobster tails, and then we're going to go into the room, in my living room, and we're going to watch the new Marvel movie the day before everybody else has seen it. Sounds like a nice offer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I can tell the way you answered it was half an answer, but because I'm already proven my point, because I guarantee you accept my invitation today. Over the next days, you're going to be thinking about it, and you're going to say, geez, I'm going to be meeting Rona and Bill next Wednesday. But I guarantee you, when you wake up that Wednesday, you're going to be pretty bummed out because it's a gorgeous day. You're going to go about your day, and you're going to come over, and we're going to go through, have a nice dinner, and then we're all going to watch the movie. Guaranteed, one of the 3 of us will fall asleep, right?
Yeah.
Me.
Rona falls asleep.
I always fall asleep in movies.
Okay. And then we watch it together, the 3 of us. But what if I change it up? And I says, next Thursday is the opening of the new Marvel movie. Why don't the 3 of us meet out at our favorite restaurant, pizza, glass of wine, and then we're going to go to the opening night of the new Marvel movie. Every day between now and then, you're going to layer up your enthusiasm, and you're going to wake up on Thursday morning and you're going to say, yes, I'm meeting Bill and Rona at 5 o'clock. We're going to have a great pizza, and then we're going to see that movie.
Yeah.
But my question to you is, I offered you the same thing the night before. Not the same, is it?
Nope.
Doesn't work.
The atmosphere makes it.
That's right.
I have a question for you.
Yes. You've heard that story many times.
No, how come at your house I'd get lobster and steak? All I'm going to get to lousy pizza?
Put it this way, with me, that you'd be lucky if you get that pizza, and it would be delivered. But I think we all see my point.
Yeah, yes, of course.
You would accept that invitation. Yes, we would. Would we have a nice dinner? Yes. Would we have a nice time watching a movie together? There's a time and a place for that. But there's also a time to go out a couple times a year and be with your friends, family, to go see a movie. I was talking with a gentleman the other day.
It's an experience.
It is.
It really is.
Yeah.
I was using a little bit of my Irish humor the other day with a gentleman, and I said, you know, sir, my challenge is to get you into that building 5 times a year. Do I really care that you stream the other 360? No. But when you come down those 5 days, we're happy you're there, and we're going to do everything we can to make that a great experience. Because that experience, those 5 days, is going to be different than your streaming of 360 days during the year. So that's my point, is that for those 5 or 6 times a year that people want to go out and see that movie. Andrew, I might see you November, December, January, February, and I don't see you for the next 8 months.
Yeah.
You know, weather breaks. You like to go golfing on your Saturdays instead of going to the movies. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay. The theaters are there for when people want to come down and see great movies and have a great experience.
I would imagine you still have people, though, at all your theaters who are just regulars, who just love movies, and doesn't matter what you're playing. Either that or I'm going Wednesday for $5, no matter what's on.
That's right. And that's why I am very open about it, is that, you know, it may not work for you for a couple of months. You might get involved with other projects, but then all of a sudden it gets back into your routine again.
Yeah.
You know, I can't control the product. So
Summers, you tend to hit a younger crowd with the movies that come in because kids are out of school.
Kids are out of school. The families are on vacation.
I always like the fall movies, the ones that are starting to compete for the Oscars.
That's my favorite time of the year with
Yeah.
the films, October, November. Then we get really rolling into the Christmas, which the end of the year is looking fabulous this year. We have the second chapter of Wicked, which
Yep.
is going to roll right into the third installment of Avatar. So this year, on paper, the films are there.
But I have a similar example to prove your point even further. Just the other day, I knew my mom was going to surprise my little brother to see Lilo and Stitch. And to be honest, I never cared for the live action Disney remakes. I just don't see the point. I wish they'd come out with more creative things. But when she said, oh, we're going to the Mystic Theater, I was like, can I come too? I have the day off. I want to go to the movies. Had a great time for a movie I otherwise would not have watched. Like, that was on its streaming, I wouldn't have put it on, you know, but I had a good time watching it, you know, because of the atmosphere, seeing my little brother having some food, and the chairs there are so comfortable.
Did you buy Milk Duds?
Not Milk Duds, but the tenders and fries were very good.
Oh, good. Okay.
You did all right.
You know, again, we're going back and forth, just proving how important movie theaters are. I don't know if you've seen advertised recently that they made a sequel to Happy Gilmore.
That's right.
Okay. It's going straight to Netflix. So I will challenge both of you during the next few months. I want you to write down every time a friend or an acquaintance or family talks to you about how much they enjoyed Happy Gilmore 2. The answer is going to be 0.
Yep.
0. Nobody's going to bring it up. Nobody's going to care. But what if they had taken that movie? Now, we all admit it's a campy movie. It can be cheesy at times. But what if that was brought right to the theaters? Rainy hot day during the summer.
Right.
A bucket of popcorn and icy. It's a pretty cool thing to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a new challenge in our industry, but to me, it's no different than the challenges our industry has changed, faced for the last 50 years. There's always been something that is a challenge out there, whether it's the buildings expanding.
You had COVID.
Right.
That was one of the biggest challenges you've had.
You know?
And during COVID, he sold popcorn. People could come and buy one of these, take it home, and watch whatever.
Andrew, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you remember a thing called a VCR tape?
Yes.
Okay. Probably got a few of them in your closet, right?
Probably,
Mom and
yeah.
Dad probably have a box of them. Okay. When was the last time you used those?
This morning.
You
Really?
didn't like those?
Really?
That's how I do my yoga. I have 23 VCR tapes, and one machine that I managed to find somebody who still had one. And yeah, this morning I used.
My point is that I started,
but not to see a movie. No, I don't want to.
When I started this industry out of high school, the VCR tapes had just started coming in.
Right.
From the big disc betas and all those. We just started with the VCRs. And my dad, who spent his life in the industry, even he was a little nervous because it was the first time the massively produced into your home content like this. And so my question to you is, Andrew, is let's see, we went from the VCR tapes to DVDs to Blu-rays to red boxes.
Oh, wait a minute, before you get all there, what about the stores that used to the
Blockbuster.
Blockbusters.
Blockbuster,
Okay.
right?
How they doing?
They were huge.
Oh, no, I'm asking how they're doing today.
They're not around
okay.
anymore. They're gone.
Next question. How the red boxes doing?
They're gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We had very few seats this morning. Missed it.
Yeah, I'm
very
sure.
Few seats available. And that's my point. People enjoy going to the movies.
First thing this morning, it was dreary out. It certainly wasn't beach weather. It was humid, but it was chilly. It was gray, and you're only charging $5. Why not?
Or $2. Today was our $2 day. Yesterday was the $5 day.
Oh, that's right.
But we also have our early bird special, which is I think $8.50, and that's every day we do that. And also on Wednesdays, it's our bargain day where it's a set price. I believe it's $8.50.
When you bring back these movies like Brokeback Mountain, Sound of Music, One Floor of the Cuckoo's Nest, those are special prices, aren't they?
Yes, because those are done through Fathom, and the film costs on those they're off the charts. It's very expensive, believe it or not, for us to bring those in under the.
Is that why it's only one day?
Yeah, well, sometimes they do them 2 days, but it's dates that they set. Generally, they'll do it like on a Sunday afternoon and a Wednesday evening screening, something like that. I love doing them. I really do.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it brings. Well, also, it's like what you talked about at Christmas time when you're showing It's a Wonderful Life, or you're going to have it with The Sound of Music, where grandma is going to come with the daughter and son, with the little ones, and say, when I was a little girl, I saw this movie. And you're going to see the generations.
Well, we haven't talked about it, but one of my favorite rentals, as you know, we do private rentals at the theater. One of my favorite rentals of all time was a 3 Generations. They came down. There was only like 6 of them in there, and they watched Wizard of Oz, and it was exactly what you were talking about. The grandparents seeing it with their children, with the grandchildren.
Yeah.
Those kids, that whole family will never, ever forget that. But they could have done the same thing at their house. Never going to work.
Nah, kids would be running around.
That's
They
right.
would be,
Yeah.
people would be in the kitchen. And
that's right. Instead, you're sitting with your friends, family in a theater, focused, watching a great story.
This would be a good time, would it not, for you to mention about rentals, theater rentals? Maybe not for the summer because you're so busy, but upcoming people have, well, we just
parties,
passed graduation, but we have, people always have birthdays, and there are corporate parties for the holidays. There are family parties.
Well, before we talk about the rentals, I would like to unveil another program that we are sending out tomorrow. It's going to be called our Real Rewards Program.
REEL.
Yep, we got a very nice logo that Olivia designed for us with a whale, the Connecticut whale, and that is going to be a program where you will accumulate points that you will be able to put towards a theater rental if you can save enough points. It could be admissions, it could be popcorns, it could be drinks, and but so the folks that like to support the theater, this is a way for the theater to give back.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
excellent.
It's going to be a soft start tomorrow, but it'll be done through an email and phone numbers and that. But you'll be able to accumulate points.
There's a question from a commenter here. At Bill's Cinemas, can you transfer from one cinema showing one feature to another screen showing a different feature without paying a separate admission?
Oh, yeah, I think there's a couple trick pieces in that question. Did you read that to me again?
It says, at Bill's Cinemas, can you transfer from one cinema showing one feature to another screen showing a different feature without paying separate admission? So
could they walk down the aisle after they just saw the one movie and
go see another
sneak
one?
into another
well,
one?
if you're asking that way, we prefer you don't sneak into the theaters. But yes, the auditorium doors are within relatively close to each other, and there's always going to be somebody that will do that. The difference nowadays is the auditoriums are much smaller seating capacity, and most of them are done by reserve.
Yeah.
So that would be a big problem if somebody went in and sat in a chair, but then somebody else came in that had reserved that seat.
Something I found interesting too, I was going to say when COVID was brought up, was online I saw people kind of mourning the death of movie theaters and saying, oh, it's so sad that nobody goes to movie theaters anymore. But it's the people that are like, we miss the experience.
He's got
of
an
it.
answer.
It was people like my age, like, oh, it's so sad that they died out. It's like, you're just saying they died
We don't
going.
seem to be dead.
Exactly.
Now, has it changed? Yes. Are there different challenges? Yes, but that's no different than when I started.
Right.
We just talked about that. And I've got to be ready to and adapt to these changes in the industry.
These people bemoaning the death of them are the ones that could just be going to the movies if they're so, you know what I mean? Nobody said they're closed.
When COVID hit, my partner and I remember we had a very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Important discussion on this. And what we decided was that no matter what, the word we used was relevant. And we were going to keep our theaters relevant. At the time, we just had Mystic. Okay, we were able to acquire South Kingstown just after COVID and the other two after also. But as far as Mystic, we use that word relevant. What do I mean by that? Well, we sold popcorn to our customers, our patrons that were coming by to support us. We were selling that on the sidewalk.
Yep. People would drive up. You'd
Right.
call ahead, drive up.
Right, they would actually reserve.
Get one of these.
It's awesome.
We did a drive-in, several screenings. We had hundreds of cars there to see Jaws one night. Theater rentals, where you were able to, you had to be socially spacing
Distant.
yeah.
Social
So
distance,
we
yeah.
did rentals. Well, that year we did just under 600 rentals. So what did that do? It kept the theater relevant.
Right.
Yeah.
We brought in so many new patrons from those rentals that these were people that maybe didn't experience our theater.
And all that time, your concessions were open, and you were adding stuff. I mean, a few years ago, you didn't have Nathan's hot dogs and ices and a lot of the things you have now.
That's what I'm saying. We kept it relevant, but never ever did I ever see anybody. I heard what you were talking about, the demise, and let's face it, many theaters did close. I will say that.
Yeah.
But I will also say too, we were overbuilt. Just a situation right here in Connecticut, we had Bridgeport and Fairfield right next to each other. There were 20-something screens there between the two theaters.
Really?
Yeah. That old thing, what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
Now what you're seeing is people, they don't want these big multiplexes. They want the smaller, quaint boutique theaters. That's why Mystic does very, very well.
Yeah.
South Kingstown is not what you consider a huge building.
We've got the one in Newport. Is that Jane Pickens?
Right, that's a single screen.
Single
what a great experience that is.
Yes.
That's over the top. That brings you back to the real yesteryears with the pipe organ down front. That's beautiful.
Don't look to me for that, fella. I don't remember pipe organs.
But no, I heard that all, and our case, I'd like to think that we just got a lot stronger in our case.
Yeah, so if you're one of those people at home that thought, oh, the movie theaters, I missed that, they didn't go anywhere. You know, it's right here. It's alive and well.
Yeah. We always had the naysayers.
Yeah.
You know, it's an incredibly scrutinized industry. Everybody sees in the newspapers every Monday what these films gross, what the projections are. I don't know any other industry like this, that it's out there so much and scrutinized on a weekly basis. But the one thing that has never ever changed in the 50-something years I've been doing it is the smiles when people come out of that movie. I was just there. I'm just saying goodbye to a whole group of folks that left. They had a great time, and I don't think they were worried about their streaming tonight. They were there today.
And that's something that you do. It's a Bill Dougherty thing that I don't ever remember having that experience at any other movie theater. You're there saying thank you for coming. What did you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Or you talk to the people.
We received a very, very nice review on Google last night about a patron's experience in Mystic. And they talked about the experience they had that night. And then she remembered how years ago she had met me, and she had met my dog Charlie. And she was so thankful that when this happened years ago, I just anybody in patron, she was in the theater, her and her friend, and they were very inquisitive about my industry. So I took them up into the projection booth, and showed them the whole digital conversion and how all that worked.
Really?
Well, here it is, all these years later, she's remembered that. She came back to the theater. She didn't see me, but she wanted to leave a nice review about the theater. And so I shared that with my general managers, and it's not to toot my own horn at all, but as I wanted them to understand, it said, we chose to do this for a living. I chose to do this. The managers, the staff, they all come down, they apply, they want to work at the theater. To me, it's just a great, fun industry. So if you're going to work there, we're going to make it a good experience. And if the general managers create cultures the way they have, people are going to want to work there. I was talking to Raj this morning. He's got so many people that want to work for him. It's because the
manager at South County.
Rushme, yeah. Went to high school with him.
Yeah, he creates such a great atmosphere that down there and culture that the staff rallies around him. Lorraine over here in Mystic, she loves the hospitality industry. She loves to interact with our patrons. But the same thing at our other theaters. I was in Westbrook and in Madison the other day. And anybody can go on Google and you'll see the reviews. Are we perfect? No. Have we made mistakes? Yes. But for the general, we do our best to try to make it a great experience. And if somebody doesn't have one, all I'd ask them to do is just give me a call. I'll gladly give them a call. And we had something happen at one of our theaters recently where I was so thankful that this patron had something happen. It didn't work out very well for her. And instead of going on and writing a review, she asked to speak to me. Well, we had a wonderful, wonderful conversation. And guess what? She's coming back with her family to come see the movies. So I did dispute resolution with one of the large.
You don't get that though. I think in most theaters, I think it's just pay your money, get in, buy your popcorn, and see ya. Yeah. I don't think you have somebody saying thank you for coming or at the door
and
the way you are.
And we mean it.
Well, obviously, or you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't be there.
I was just in Mystic, and we had some new staff members that were working there. And again, my general managers they hire anybody they want. It doesn't matter to me. But once they're hired, I go over and I introduce
you
myself.
Work them over, don't you?
Well, yeah. We just had an incident over at Mystic just about a half hour ago. One of the new ones, he's only been there for a couple of days, and I look over and he's sitting on his cell phone. So I walked over to him and I says,
God help him.
I said, apparently you didn't get the memo. So very nicely he understood that we don't allow you to be on your cell phone on the floor. Very simple. But once I meet everybody, I really work off the same principle. Everything that we do there, there's nothing that's rocket science that we cannot figure out individually or as a team. But the one thing that I have to insist on is that anybody that works for us, they must care about that theater. And if they don't, I will ask them to leave because you will stick out like a sore thumb. Now, what do I mean by care about the theater? It means that while you were there, just really care about the people that come there. If we make a mistake, that's fine. But care that that person is there to see a great movie. And I'm pretty lucky with that. I've got some great staff
Yeah, you
that work
do.
at the theater.
I think what's nice is when you go back to the theater and you see the same people you saw the last time.
Yeah.
You know,
And no, go ahead. I love having you be part of this.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt, but
You're not.
Yeah, we were just talking. My best friend for years has been working at South County, and the way he describes his coworkers, it's more like a friend group than a coworker. They all hang out outside of the theater. They, sometimes I'd even stop by to see them and say hi, and they're all getting along and having good. He tells me all the like, oh, my friends from the theater and I are doing this and that, and he just loves it. It's like a culture there.
Because they all know this, and I have felt this way about movie theaters my whole life. If you are going to work in a movie theater, let's say you're going to work 20 hours as a part-time job. Here's the one thing I can guarantee you. If you look at it, average this out over the year, for the 20 hours a week, you will be running your tail off for 10 of them. The other 10, pretty chill. Pretty chill. It's just a great place to work, but there's certain standards that we have to keep up on. There is nothing that anybody is asked to do in there that I have not done several times myself. As a matter of fact, if there's a big mess, I'm working with them to help them. Everybody does everything. And one of the things when somebody comes to work for them, we don't have, I'll call it a pecking order, a ladder, so to speak. Anybody that starts there, we all start on the same level, including myself. When that theater is open, we are all on the same level. If a theater has to be clean and certain people are available to get in there and clean it, that's their responsibility.
I don't think I ever mentioned this, but and I'm going to mention it because I think it's important. The last time I was at the theater, which was seeing Conclave for the third time, because I thought it was a great movie, I needed to use the restroom on the way out. And I realized that for all the years I've been coming to your theaters, I don't know, we won't get specific, but I never needed to use the restroom. I'd never been inside the restroom.
So I'll ask you, were you happy with your visit to our restaurant?
I was so bowled over. I thought, I've been in people's homes and their kitchens that aren't as clean. First of all, it's so beautifully lit.
Yeah.
And it was so clean. I just could not get over. I mean, there are many restrooms that are clean, but this was just over the top clean.
I have said this to my general managers many times. If you work with me on this, I'm going to teach you a way. It's going to be easier to do. It's going to make it a lot easier on you. But we've got to keep these levels up because I've seen it. What happens is when you see levels of cleanliness and the operation, it can make a real mess there real fast because you
sure can.
Hundreds of people
right here. This makes a big mess.
Yeah, and now
in the seats, on the rugs, etc.
Well, you take like a day like yesterday. These buildings did well over 500 people.
Oh.
Well. Try inviting 5 over to your house and making popcorn, not 500.
How hard was that for you when the Minecraft movie was out and kids? It was my age group.
You weren't around, but he went through that. You've got about 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
So tell him.
We were very fortunate. The towns we do business in, which are what we all agree are lovely towns, and so we did not have any issues to the level that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And my only take on that is, I'll give you an example of when they interviewed a theater operator from New Jersey when this first came out with the chicken jockey. And so they interviewed the theater operator. And he said he was stopping all kids from going in there unless they were with a parent. And then, of course, they interviewed some parents about this, and most of the parents were defending their children and
Of
saying
course, they were
that this
probably
was
worse than
okay.
the kids.
So, for the sake of the conversation, I'm going to tell you that I agree with the parents. Okay, but all I'm going to ask is that when Minecraft 2 comes out, we're going to save that for direct streaming, and we're going to stream it into your homes, and we're going to invite all your children's friends over the house. And when that scene Chicken Jockey comes out, because if it's okay to throw things in my house, then it's okay to throw things in your house. So we are going to throw slushies and popcorn all over your living rooms. Different story there, isn't it?
Very much
And
so.
that, to me, that's where it kind of crosses the line.
Bill, thank you again. Thank you for coming, and I'm glad everything worked out last
we can
night.
keep going on
Not
this
so much
subject,
for
but
the deer, but
no,
I'm glad it worked out
all
for
good,
you.
all good.
Next week, we will be back in the studio, and we will be back at 3 o'clock. And if DJ Gadget is still held up in Hartford, I want you, because you're a terrific producer. Thank you, Andrew
Appreciate
Fiore.
that. Yeah.
And I love that you get involved in the conversation, because that's what we like. Next week, we are going to have a group we haven't had before. The Westerly Pawcatuck Antique Auto Club will be with us, because they have an auto show on the 28th at the General Stanton Inn in Charlestown. And the members will be on telling you all about it, talking about it. And then our second guest will be the inimitable Lisa Kanicki from the Ocean Community Chamber. So have a good week. Be safe out there. But as I always say, take a risk. You'll never know how it might work out. Just please don't do it while you're driving. Thank you so much. And a big thank you to our friends here at the Navigant Credit Union. Come in, get educated, find out about Embark. Have a great time and a great week. See ya.